Hi, everyone, and welcome. My name is Helena. I'm joined today by our producer, Thiago Aranha. How are you, Aranha?
I'm good. How are you, everybody? Another end to another week, another midnight session for me.
Yes, yes. For those of you who don't know, Aranha is based in Singapore, so he's dedicating his Friday night for us.
I wouldn't wish to be anywhere else. Actually, I've been looking forward to this live stream for a long time. I'm chomping at the bit here.
Yes, he truly is. If you've been following through the week when we announced the live stream and yesterday when we teased about it again, we left a few clues on the way. And one of them was a comment Aranha left on the very first post that said he never geeked out as much.
Yeah, I never fanboyed on any project as much as I did on this one, and that is absolutely true. And of course, it's a bit of a personal thing, but I think it also reflects on what we'll be doing with this thing. We're gonna see soon. But yeah, we did some teasers, and it was interesting to see as we revealed more things, as we teased more things, what people were guessing and trying to connect the dots. Some good guesses, some way off, some a bit off, and I think one of the guesses, which I think is something that makes sense given some of the teasers we did, but I want to crush some of your dreams already. This is not Time Machine again. We're not jumping on that again. Sorry for those who are hoping for that, but I hope you will enjoy what it actually is that we have been cooking for you.
Yeah. Those are the, I think that among the top three of people's guesses.
Well, with your time will come. I can see how that would be the guess, but like the thing is, this is something that I never thought we would. I never imagined we would do this thing, but when it came to my desk, I thought, oh, this is the most amazing thing I never knew I wanted, and I thought it was just brilliant, and I just jumped on it. So I don't know. Shall we just go ahead? Is it
Yeah, I
time?
think we should. People are getting impatient.
Come on, let's
Okay,
do it.
so our big review for the day is
Woe to you, O earth and sea. For the devil sends the beast with wrath, because he knows the time is short.
Yeah, this is music. Ah,
Aranha left so many clues. I think on our last live stream you were already in a maiden shirt.
hashtag justice for Eddie. Finally.
Yes, it's the Iron Maiden character packs, everyone. And wow, shall we show it off already?
Uh, Hold on. Let me up the irons. I'm so excited. My heart is racing. I hope any Maiden fans out there are really excited about this, because it's like, this is like how we're doing some awesome packs here. If you're not an Iron Maiden pack, stick around. There's way more than just Iron Maiden. This is a nice pack with lots of gameplay. If you're not a zombie side pack, stick around. It's not just zombie side, it's a lot of games. So let's go back and show everything that is on this pack.
Yeah, and it's a lot. Hi
Yeah.
there. Yes,
Yeah, so
a lot of people have noticed that there are just so many logos here.
yeah. This is kind of a crazy endeavor. I kind of dove into this rabbit hole with this pack, and it just came about naturally. So let's go back to the beginning. David Petty, our director, had the brilliant idea of getting the Iron Maiden license for a zombie side pack, which, like, it just makes sense. Eddie, he's basically a zombie, and he's a hero, he's a fighter, he's a demon, he's an enemy. Like, he's very versatile, and he has all these different incarnations. So there's a lot to play with. Okay, so cool. Like a zombie side second edition, because Iron Maiden is a modern band, so Zombicide second edition character pack like we've done before. But then, like, immediately we think, oh no, it can't just be second edition, because you have all these kind of medieval fantasy eddies, and you have like futuristic eddies, and like you have all these things. So okay, so let's expand it to like all the eras of Zombicide, not a Zombicide game, like the core Zombicide games, But then beyond that, okay, so basically, so this Eddie can be like an abomination, and this one can be a survivor, and all this. But then talking to the licensor, like, they insisted, okay, no. If you're making an Eddie, like, he has to be both, like, because he's not a hero, he's not an enemy, he's a very complex character. So to present him as he is, like, you had to have him as both an enemy, an abomination, or whatever, and a survivor as well. So like all of them have this dual role. But then, like, the thing that really, like, it went beyond anything that we have ever done. It was very exciting, and it's just something that, as I worked on this pack, I started to push that idea that, can we maybe go beyond a Zombicide pack for this? Because, like, I personally need to have like Power Slave, Pharaoh, Eddie in Ankh, Gods of Egypt, because like that's how Ankh came to be. Like that cover is purely, it is Iron Maiden. Like it inspired the game so much. And then we think like, oh, come on, like Lovecraft is everywhere in Iron Maiden. You have like his text on the cover of Life After Death. So we need to do that Death May Die. And we find out that the latest album has a samurai on the cover. So like we need to do Rising Sun. And so we just kept adding games and kept pushing to add more things. And it just like it came to a point where, okay, we need to start limiting ourselves. Like we can't do everything for everything. So basically the system we came up with is like every Eddie basically we should try to do like 2 different Zombicides and 1 other game for each Eddie. Some of them and whenever it fits, like we don't want to put like a specific Eddie in a game that doesn't really fit. So some of them have a little less, some have more, but the basic idea is every Eddie for 2 Zombicides and 1 other game between Massive Darkness 2, Rising Sun, Ankh, and Cthulhu Death May Die. The only exception is those 2 big guys over there, the Fear of the Dark Eddie and the Wicker Man Eddie, because like they are monsters really. They can't really work as like normal survivors. So those are strictly enemies in their box.
Yeah, those would be tough to fit as heroes.
Yeah, it's a bit weird. So for those, the licensing team, like they agreed that okay, so those can be like just abominations and such, and then we started to explore all that and work with different teams. So we had like the Z team, which is our internal Zombicide team, working on the designs for all the Zombicides. That was Fel, Tola, Rodrigo, and Toy. And one thing that from the get-go, I asked them, like, who here is an Iron Maiden fan? Because I need fans working on this. Because I'm a fan, I won't accept any. I don't want just mechanics. I want like fanboy mechanics. So okay, so two of the developers there, like, no, we're big Armenian fans. Okay, so you understand me. Let's look at the songs. Let's look at the lyrics. Let's look at the album art. Let's come up with mechanics that make sense for this character in each of its incarnations. And then I started looking for who can sculpt this, because I want a sculptor that loves Iron Maiden, that loves Eddie, that knows the artwork, that knows why each of these Eddies is cool. And so I talked to Edgar Ramos, who's an amazing sculptor, and he said, "Oh yeah, I'm a big Iron Maiden fan since I was a kid." And then I worked closely with him, and we were just geeking out doing these sculpts. And one thing that you will note is these do have kind of scenic bases. It's something like we kind of, because we wanted to replicate the album artwork as much as possible. So we tried to insert all the elements that you see in the covers in the sculpt themselves on the bases. And just try to bring those characters to life in plastic form for your games.
Yeah. A few questions here. Sorry, just.
Please stop me.
If I only own second edition, how many characters are playable for me? Will you make a list? So I can answer part of this question. Yes. We know this is a lot. It's a lot of characters. It's a lot of games. You can use them in many different ways. So yes, there will be a list. Don't worry. Other than that, if you only own second edition, how many characters?
So second edition, Zombicide second edition is the main game for this pack, because like, let's be honest, second edition Zombicide, kind of anything goes. You know, we've had aliens and Cthulhu and whatever else in second edition. So it was easier to fit like almost everything there. So I believe out of these 15, I think only 3 of them don't have gameplay material for second edition. All the other ones do. And then for the other Zombicides, like, it's a little less. Like, some are more restricted. Like in Invader, it's harder to fit a lot of stuff in a sci-fi setting. We try to do as much as possible, but like, we had to stay within a reasonable framework for what makes sense.
Another one here. Can they be purchased a la carte? So can they be purchased separately? Yes.
Well, not individually. Like, we're not doing one by one. We are. So these are 3 different packs plus one extra promo box. We're going to explain all this, and you will be able to buy them buy the packs separately, or also as a bundle with everything and a very nice discount.
Yeah. I'm seeing a lot of questions that say, "Oh, which can I use in this game or that game?" So I think we can just move forward and
we're going to dive into. I want to talk about each of them. I would try my best not to do this like the first 2-hour live stream we ever do. I'll try to keep it brief, but I really want to talk about this because I'm excited not just about like the characters and the sculpts, but the mechanics themselves. Because like we went all out, and I was, as I said, I fanboyed like hell on this one. So on every aspect, I was there being a pain in the ass for everybody involved. Like, from design, whenever they would deliver something, I would go, yeah, that's cool, but in the lyric they say this, so why don't we explore this? Like, and like, okay, this feels a bit generic. Why don't we like just create something completely unique and different and make this work in a wild different way? And I did that with design. I did that with graphics. I laid out everything as soon as I had the files. I bugged Elena a lot in marketing, like proposing the teasers and the banners and the whole thing. Like, even the trailer, I did a mock-up of the whole trailer to make my point that we had to get the license for Number of the Beast, because we cannot make a trailer for Iron Maiden without Iron Maiden music. Anywho, let's get into the packs.
Yep. Oh no! First we have these bad boys.
Wow. Yeah. So they do not come painted. This is Big Child's awesome work, and I can't wait to see this in person. I think I will have them at Luca, and I'm craving these things. But yeah, it kind of gives you an idea of what they can look like when painted. And oh my God, I love these guys. And
because we get this a lot, these were not digitally painted. They were hand painted by Big Chat Creatives. I know it's hard to believe, and we assure you.
Yeah, yeah. So although here you can get a better scale, maybe a better notion of the scale of the figures. Like they're like all basically zombicide scale, like a bit bigger. Like Eddie's a tall guy, but like he's like human size mostly. Some of them are a bit larger than human, and of course the fear and the weaker ones are quite oversized, but not a huge thing, but a nice. Uh, Sizable miniature. And also this, like, it was a tough process to narrow it down to these eddies. Like initially I made a list with every eddy I could conceive, and it was very hard, like trading, like, oh, this cutting eddies was a very painful process. But we had to consider not only like, oh, this is a cool eddy, but to have a good variety, to have eddies that worked well as miniatures, to have eddies that allowed us to do nice and fun gameplay in different games and all that. So everybody pitched in, and we arrived at this balance of eddies.
Well, so diving into the packs.
So the first one, and this actually was a nice surprise because we started working on this before the latest album Senjutsu came out. So we actually got a preview of we have a new eddy for the new album. I'm going to find out about a new eddy before it comes out, and it was this amazing samurai eddy for the Senjutsu box. And this one was the first one that started like pointing us in the direction that we need to go beyond Zombicide, because like it's a samurai monster. We need to have him in Rising Sun. This is a character in Rising Sun. It's a unique monster. Like it's always present on the board throughout the whole game. And like if you've seen like the writing on the wall trailer, like he's an honorable warrior fighting for justice. So he always belongs to the clan that has the most honor. And that means his allegiance can change at any time in the game. So during a battle, he may change allegiances if you gain more honor than your opponent. So that creates like very interesting dynamics about what you sacrifice. Do you lose honor, and then you lose Eddie, and then someone else gets him. And I think it's a very nice way to deal with him in Rising Sun. And then we have him for Black Plague and Invader, because Invader makes sense because the writing on the wall setting is kind of a post-apocalyptic kind of Mad Maxy world. So we thought it made sense to have him in a sci-fi setting, and of course, like a medieval fantasy also makes sense. And one important thing, every Zombicide character we have him as has a unique blue level skill. So all their skills at blue level are not one of those skills from the general roster. We came up with unique skills, and this is why I said we went all out with the mechanics. We wanted to have unique skills for each of them in Zombicide, and those skills are named after songs of Iron Maiden. So and basically the skills try to reflect the lyrics or the song or the theme and all that. So Samurai Eddie, he has Flesh of the Blade, because he's able to attack with his Maiden Japan katana, and he eliminates zombies at a range if he rolls a 6, like doing a little blast thing. And as an abomination, he kind of drains nearby zombies to wound other heroes. So he's not a nice guy in any side of the battle. So he's basically like draining life from zombies to damage you. And then the other guy there, Undead Eddie from Live After Death, like iconic Eddie, and of course on his gravestone he has the Death May Die inscription. So we had to have him on Death May Die, and this is like a very cool thing, because initially when we first started working on this, I didn't know how can we bring him to Death May Die, because it's very hard to add monsters to Death May Die out of the blue, because like the scenarios are very structured and all that. But we do have a new campaign coming out very soon for Death May Die, Fear of the Unknown. And that Death May Die is going to introduce a new mechanic, which is the unknown monster mechanic. And that allowed us to add these monsters as unknown monsters, which means it can be added to any scenario using that mechanic. So you will find out more when you back Death May Die, Fear of the Unknown, coming soon to Kickstarter near you. But yeah, so Undead Eddie works as a unknown monster in Death May Die, and he pops up where you least expect it, because he's just breaking off the ground and being a nuisance. And then he works for second edition and Undead or Alive, the Western setting. I'm trying to remember what he does. He has the Die with Your Boots On skill, which allows him to react when zombies activate near him. He gets to act and attack first. So he's always on the. He's not caught by surprise, whatever he does. And as an abomination, he does the same thing of popping where you least expect him, like just popping up off the ground and grabbing you.
Before we move forward, I'm just seeing a lot of comments and questions on how people can order. So yeah, just to address this really quickly, this is not a coming soon thing.
Well, it's coming soon in terms of we still need to make it and produce it. And
but this is a get it now thing. Like you will be able to order this today. Still, please don't leave us now. These packs are a lot. Aranha will geek over them for a little longer. You will get to know them in depth. So don't leave now. And we will have a contest at the end. So don't leave us. Don't leave us just now. Shall we move forward?
Yeah, next one. There's a lot to go through here.
No.
Oh, Reaper Eddie from Dance of Death. It's good to see him on his own without all those other characters that are on his cover, which is kind of an unfortunate thing. But yeah, Reaper Eddie, we made him a roaming monster for Massive Darkness 2. And basically he summons the heroes to join him in his Dance of Death, like attracting them and attacking them and dealing a substantial amount of damage to them. So he has like the whole deck of roaming monsters with all the levels and everything in Massive Darkness 2. And then, of course, we need to have him in Black Plague and Modern as well. And as a survivor, he comes with his scythe, which he has a skill that allows him to start with the scythe. And of course, he has basically the Reaper skill using the scythe, where he kills extra zombies as his attack hits. So he's reaping the souls of zombies. And as an abomination, he is extremely deadly because he is death. So basically, if he sees you, when he activates, you're dead. That's as simple as that. So of course, one nice thing about these guys is there's a great variation of difficulty in terms of the abominations that we add to the game. So like if you're finding a zombicide too easy, like add some of these and they're going to be a real challenge. And some of them, here's a fun little twist, but they're not particularly challenging. But with introducing all these new abominations to the games, it allows us the option to like add all this variety. So this one is a very deadly one. You basically need to hide from him and strike fast and kill him. Otherwise, he's going to reap your soul. Okay, here we have like a very special one, Pharaoh Eddie, and of course, we had to have him for Ankh. And it was funny because when we started working on this, Eric Lang had already left the company. But when we started working on this pack, I called him and I said, okay, Eric, we're doing an Iron Maiden pack for Ankh. Do you want to work on the design? Yes. I already know. I know what I'm going to do. Don't worry. I have an idea. And basically, he just like worked through it like over the weekend and came up with like a very thematic way of introducing the Pharaoh Eddie to Ankh. Of course, it uses the Pharaoh expansion, so he's a Pharaoh, and he basically he changes the rules in his region. Like every battle card you play gains a different ability, and they're all tied to the lyrics of Power Slave, which is the album where he comes from. So each card is related to a bit of the lyrics, which affects the mechanics of your battle cards, and everything is very steeped on the whole thing of Power Slave and I'm a god, why can't I live on, and all that. So that is Ankh. And then he's in Black Plague and Second Edition, and he's a commander of men. He's a pharaoh, so as a survivor, he's able to command the zombies a little bit, so he can activate zombies and move them out of their way, like just commanding the undead hordes. And as an abomination, he doesn't move; he just stays there where he is. But he makes all the zombies on the board move a lot more. He motivates his power slaves to move to do his bidding. So you need to go after him and get him out of there. Otherwise, like the whole board becomes a lot more deadly. All his servants.
A question here: will these work in Green Horde or Night of the Living Dead? A few of them work in Green Horde, including these two.
Yeah, so whatever I say, Black Plague applies to Green Horde as well. It's the same setting. I just call it Black Plague because it's easier. It was the first one, but they are the same setting. Living Dead is not. It's a zombicide game, but it's not one of the core zombicide boxes. So like, it's not meant to work directly with it. But it doesn't take much adapting to make it work in other zombicides. But like, it's not geared exactly to those like side zombicide games.
Yeah, Night of the Living Dead is a really compact experience that really focuses on the movie. Right. Well, moving on.
Moving on to the next one.
Next one. These are so cool.
Trooper Eddie, yeah, he's like, yeah, these are the two of my favorite ones. Like, just like the characters themselves and the scopes, like trying to replicate all the details. Like in the cover, like both of them, you have like the little dead hand. By the way, I need to give my kudos to Derek Riggs, who designed Eddie and made most of these covers that we based our miniatures on. And so like, just bringing all these elements to the figures and a game. So these ones, they are only for Zombicide. Like, they didn't really fit any of our other games very well. So Trooper Eddie, Undead or Alive, and second edition, and basically, like, he's a trooper. He's charging the enemies. So he has Run to the Hills as his blue skill. As he enters zones, he has his musket, and he can automatically kill zombies as he enters each zone. So the idea is you go charging from zone to zone and stabbing zombies and eliminating extra ones as you go. And I really like him as an abomination. He's a soldier, so he bolsters the zombies next to him. They make them more resilient. And one thing that I added later on, like, okay, we need to have some reference to, you take my life, but I'll take yours too. So when you kill him, he wounds you automatically. It doesn't matter what you do. So you take my life, but I'll take yours too. You fire a musket, but I'll run you through. So you always need to be careful when you're taking out Trooper Eddie. And then Cyborg Eddie, that was interesting because we had him, of course, for Invader, because he's the most sci-fi thing here, but also second edition because, yeah, why not? It works. He's a time traveler or something, and he shows up. But he works quite differently in the two ones because in Invader, because he's a cyborg, we wanted to integrate him with the unique mechanics that Invader has. So his blue skill is Virus, which allows him, when he's in a security room, he's able to manipulate, like, spend actions to operate any doors in the game, or operate any machines, and gets reactions to use the machines and the robots, the turrets. So he's hacking into the system and using it to his advantage. And similarly, when he's an abomination Invader, he makes machines more deadly. Like, if you're standing around a machine, they can wound the survivors as well. And if there are no machines, then Cyborg Eddie comes himself to chase you. And in second edition, so we had to do something different because there are no machines in second edition. So he has Infinite Dreams, which gives him unlimited range, and that's also, as an abomination, he's a ranged hunter, like with a very powerful blaster attack.
Well, and that covered pack 1. It's already so much content. Oh my god, these are packed with content.
These are packed full, yeah.
Yeah. Well, so then we move on to pack 2. These are so fun as well. I like
yeah. This is all great. So we have the Book of Souls, Shaman Eddie, and of course he's a shaman. I don't know how you pronounce it, shaman. And so of course in Massive Darkness we have a shaman hero class. So we had to make him a hero in Massive Darkness. So he's a shaman hero, and like, he's all about, in all the games, he's all about, like, sacrifice and, like, blood rituals and all that. So in Massive Darkness, he can wound another a hero to get bonuses for everybody. So he's doing this kind of blood rituals and, like, trading wounds for benefits. And then so we have him in Black Plague and Undead or Alive, and he kind of follows the same line. He has the Death or Glory blue skill, in which he wounds another survivor to give extra actions to himself and to that other survivor. So you're kind of trying to balance your health and to achieve, like, great feats with his dark magic. And he does the same thing as an abomination as well. So basically, I think that's very cool. Like, he kills every regular zombie in his zone, and he gains extra actions for each one he kills. So if he is found in the same zone as a huge horde, he just goes nuts and like does a whole bunch of actions after killing a bunch of walkers and runners and brutes in one go. And by the way, in Black Plague, he's a necromancer, not an abomination. So whenever we found a chance to do a necromancer instead of abomination, we also did that to add extra variety. So he follows all the necromancer rules, but he's a very nasty one, like with those like sacrificing hero zombies, which is a good thing for you, but he goes mental when he does that. And then we have Mummy Eddie, which of course we had to add him to Ankh. He's a guardian, and he kind of works similar to Petsuko's, which is like he's an extra guardian you can add to any game, and he basically like he belongs to the person who does the first conflict, but then after that, whoever kills him gets him. So he goes from master to master as you kill him in battle. You gain him, and then you use him, and then if you lose, if someone else kills him, then they gain him. So he keeps coming back as the battles go on. For Zombicide, I think it's very interesting. He has a very cool mechanic because he comes with a sarcophagus card for both Black Plague and Second Edition. And as a survivor, basically at any point during the game, you can lay down your sarcophagus anywhere on the board, and that basically creates a spawn point for you. So when you die, you have the Heaven Can Wait blue skill, and so you say, okay, no, not quite yet. And then you are able to revive in your sarcophagus once, but then you have a second lease on life to keep haunting the zombies. And as an abomination, he also has that. So once he spawns, he puts the sarcophagus on his spawn zone, and whenever he's killed, he respawns on the sarcophagus, and he'll keep doing that unless you go there and destroy the sarcophagus, and then he's wiped out for good. So I really like that thematic mechanic of you have to go there and destroy his like place of spawning, and otherwise he'll just keep coming.
I love that Zombicide Second Edition is so forgiving that we can have both Cyborg Eddie and Mummy Eddie, and that's totally
that's totally okay. Like it makes perfect sense.
Exactly.
It's everything in the kitchen table, the kitchen sink.
What's a little time traveling? Zombicide.
Okay, so we have Killer Eddie, and Killer Eddie, like he's like a very clearly like modern character. So we only have him playable in Second Edition, and basically he's a killer. So he deals. He can he attacks survivors to gain extra turns at the end of the phase to attack the zombies. So he's a very nasty guy to have next to you because he's going to chop everybody around him, but he can be very powerful. He has his Rothschild skill. So he goes mental, kind of similar to the Shaman Eddie, but as a survivor. And as an abomination, yeah, he also like sacrifices, like hunts zombies to fuel his lust for blood and all that. But then one thing we wanted to add here, because like okay, so we're not, since we cannot do extra cards for other system for him, let's do equipment for all the zombicides with the beast's several head, which Eddie at one point won the fight against the devil and he got his head. So we made that as an equipment for all the zombicides. So it's a vault weapon. It's a vault weapon. It's a prototype weapon. It's a bounty weapon. All those things. And the mechanic is, of course, it's tied to 666. So as you're carrying that head around, whenever you make an attack and you score any sixes, you add a token to the card. Once you accumulate 6, 6, 6. You can use the card to just wipe out a whole zone out of all the zombies, and then you can start accumulating again 6, 6, 6. So again,
fair enough.
Yeah, and as a bounty weapon, like you gain it once you accumulate like 6 AP and all that. So yeah, always tied to the lore and the mechanics. Asylum Eddie, like this is probably my favorite Eddie. Both. I think everything. I love the art. I love the sculpt. I love the album, and I love what we did with him. So, yeah. Actually, a little story. This is actually when I was in high school, I made a clay sculpture of his head, life size, like a fully realistic piece of mind Eddie, and you could open the top of his head, so it was hollow inside. So I used it as a cookie jar. So you could just open his lobotomy and just take cookies from there. So yeah, I'm very tight with piece of mind Eddie.
Well, that was a ride. That story kept getting weirder.
Yeah,
Did a
you know.
sculpt, it was life-sized. It became a cookie jar of a head.
Anywho, so this is an insane guy. So of course, like we had to have him as an investigator for Death May Die because it's all about insanity. It's all about that. So Eddie, Asylum Eddie, Peace of Mind Eddie, he's an investigator, and he has the Can I Play with Madness special skill, in which he basically he gambles with insanity. So he can always gain insanity in order to gain extra rolls to heal his stress. So you're playing with madness basically because you can always take some insanity in order to make better rolls, but eventually that's going to cost you. So that's his dynamics. And then in Zombicide, again, Western and modern. I'm trying to remember. It's so much stuff. Oh yeah, it was very funny because we were discussing, can he wield weapons, because he's in a straight jacket. Like, okay, don't let's not get so caught up in the minutia of it. But yeah, while he can do it, he's such a crazy guy that he can actually throw any equipment cards he has in his wild tantrums. So he can discard equipments to make very powerful attacks, and those attacks get stronger the more adrenaline he accumulates. So the more enraged he gets, he's just throwing anything he finds at the zombies and dealing a lot of damage. But it's a very different way to play with the whole attack rules in Zombicide, where you just, instead of finding the perfect weapon to use that, just gather anything you can and just throw it at the zombies in a mad dash. And I also find it very exciting, the Abomination, the number of actions he has is randomized. So whenever he activates, you roll a die. And that means, depending on what you roll, he can just be catatonic, just standing there drooling and doing nothing. Or he can just go mental and like do, I think, 3 actions in one go, or I don't even know what the limit is there. But you never know how dangerous he can be every time he activates, because you never know what's going to get. He's very unpredictable. So yeah, this is one of my, like, thematically, I love him. Chef's kiss.
Really. I have a
and again, I want to give props to the Z team. The work they did on bringing all these mechanics to the game it's amazing.
we received a few questions about the cookie jar. I'm so sorry, but does it still exist? The crowd wants to know.
So unfortunately, after a few years, it broke. So I think someone was cleaning my room and they broke my cookie jar. I was very distraught, but it was fun while it lasted. It really looked. I wish I had a photo. I don't even had a photo of it. It looked really good. It was funny because I did it while the teacher was away. But it was art class, and you were supposed to do like a normal head, but the teacher went away, and we were left alone for like a few weeks. And I said, you know what? I was like, no one's watching. I'm going to do Eddie. And then when he came back, he said, okay, that's very good, but we can't display this. Like, take this home. I'm not going to put this in the end of year exhibition. Good job, but take this away.
Good job, but no. And
Yeah.
finally, so we are gonna get also only 6 dice too. That would be the most powerful artifact. But no,
So only 6 dice. Well, I don't understand. What
to have a 666 to activate the power,
no,
that would make it too easy and not special.
The thing is, the zombie head is not an attack. The beast head is not an attack. It's an equipment you carry, and whatever attack you do, you can tally up. You can save up those 6s to power it up.
Moving forward, then. Go.
Okay, next
Bounty
one.
Hunter.
Bounty Hunter Eddie. So this, in spite of it being like a cyborg, because it's a variation of the cyborg Eddie, like, he is clearly like a Western character. So he was a natural fit for Undead or Alive as a bounty hunter. And basically you, and of course he's an invader, and both of them, they have the mercenary skill. in which when the game starts, you decide, you choose a zombie type, and that is your prey. That's the ones you're hunting. And so whenever you attack them, you gain extra dice and you gain extra XP for killing them. So you're very focused on hunting a specific type of zombie. And as an abomination, it's very interesting because he's a bounty hunter. So when the game begins, when he spawns, you attach his card to one of the survivors, and he's very fast. He's a ranged attacker, and he's going to hunt that person down until the end of the world. So basically,
Well,
you have bounty hunter Eddie on your tail, chasing you down, which is it's a very interesting thing. Like, okay, so does that person just run the other way, or the other ones hunt him down? You can use that to your advantage, trying to lure him away from other people. But it's not a good thing to have such a dangerous character on your tail. And then we have bassist Eddie, which is like basically from Fear of the Dark Live, the bass player. And maybe this might be a bit of a stretch, but we had to have him as a bard because Massive Darkness has a bard class, and we have a bass player. And we already had like a kind of a modern guitar player in Massive Darkness too. So we can add another one. So we have him as a bard, trying to make his combos using his mad bass skills to gain bonuses with his songs. And then we have him for second edition and Invader. And again, there he also plays the same kind of bard role with his gallop skill. And he's boosting his teammates if they are around his zone. They can get bonuses to damage and to their rolls as long as they are around him, and just pushing them forward. And the same thing as an abomination. He allows the other zombies to get extra activations whenever certain cards are drawn. So he's one of those characters that you want to wipe out because he makes everybody else very dangerous in the game.
I have to say, having him as a bard, not a stretch at all. Amazing. Love it. And lots of people are saying they'll try out the class now.
Yeah, come on. That is the coolest bard ever. And then we arrive at pack 3. So this pack is playing with the big boys now. And so these are strictly enemies because they are the stuff of nightmares. And unfortunately, so we couldn't like fit them in Invader, so they have cards for the other 3 games. And so like Fear of the Dark Eddie, I was very skeptical if we were going to be able to bring that character to life as a miniature because it's a very intricate sculpt. But Edgar Ramos did an amazing job. This is the one that I had the poster on top of my bed. Like I was looking at him every night. So like I was very particular. Like, okay, we need to see his intestines. Like those are, we need to see like the flesh tearing on his shoulder. There's very specific things to make it work. And so, okay, so as an abomination in Zombicide, it's all about Fear of the Dark, right? So basically, and he works a bit different because in second edition you have dark zones. So of course he makes dark zones very, very dangerous because so if you're caught there and he activates, you take a wound. He's spawning monsters in dark zones. In Western, it's similar, but it's the corpse pile zones. So those kind of make up for the dark zones. And in Black Plague, it's actually more about like, you shouldn't walk alone. Like I am a man who walks alone. That's not a good idea. So whenever he activates, and if you are alone, you take a wound. So he basically makes people like walk together to avoid taking damage. And as he sits far away, he doesn't engage you, but he just spreads this fear across the board. So you're trying to avoid places, you're trying to avoid being alone. So it influences how every hero plays while he's on the board. But then the thing that I'm very excited about is him in Death May Die, because again, it's fear. So he's an unknown monster, and of course, as an unknown monster, he basically he drains your sanity because he's fueling your fear of the dark. And whenever he's around, like he makes you run away, so you can't stand his presence and you just run in fear. But then. Kind of a bit late in the game, like I was looking at it and we were just having him as a monster, but then I realized, like, come on, it's Fear of the Dark. And we have all these phobias in the game, so it should be an insanity. It needs to be like I have a phobia that someone's always there. And then I talked to Eric Lang. So, do you think we can like develop an insanity for Death May Die? Yes. I have an idea. So, so him and Marco Portugal, they came up with this amazing mechanic where you have like darkness cards that you put in front of you, and they all have like a different bit of the lyrics of the song and different effects, and you don't know what they are. And every time you trigger your insanity, you have to reveal one. And some of them are actually good because I'm a man who walks alone. There's nothing happening. You hear you're stressed. You're walking a dark road. It's okay. But some of them, you have a phobia that someone's always there, and like a monster shows up. And as the game progresses, you start seeding out the good ones. So the chances of something bad happening, they start to increase. So the fear increases as the game progresses, as your options for darkness cards become more and more dangerous. So again, very out of the box, like wild mechanics, which is these kind of promos, like weird packs, allows us to do some of these things. And this one I'm very excited about. And then we have Weaker Eddie, which is a towering, flaming construct. And he's a roaming monster for Massive Darkness 2. I really like, so he's on fire. So he's walking around, basically setting other heroes on fire. And so he spends his tokens to burn up the heroes, and then he sacrifices other mobs to set him ablaze again, and then he can use that fire against the heroes again. So like very interesting, like flaming menace roaming around the board. And in the Zombicides, basically, well, he's an abomination roaming around, very tough, very difficult to take down. You need a lot of fire to take care of him. So basically, a lot of Molotovs, a lot of dynamite, a lot of dragon fire to burn him to a crisp eventually.
I've seen a question about this before. I'm not seeing it now, but I know it's been asked. How big are these? Because I think some people are afraid they are like toddler size. We are known for doing that in the past.
Well, no, these are like Zombicide promo scale, like the regular like Survivor ones. They are like normal size. These ones are a bit taller. Like if you look at we can go back to the other images later, and you'll see in the page. Like basically, if you have like a Survivor that is this tall, Weaker Eddie will be about this big, something like this. He's towering, but he's not a bigature. He's just a very big miniature on the board. Those bases are 50 millimeters, so twice as big as a normal Survivor base. But that's not all. So we do have one exclusive promo for this pre-order, which is the original Eddie from the original album. And of course, so this is a very 80s character. So he's in second edition, and he has the Iron Maiden skill. So basically, we try to bring this, wherever you are, Iron Maiden's gonna get you no matter how far. So he's able to move and attack, and as an abomination, when he activates and sees someone, he just runs all the way to them, no matter how far they are. He goes to the one that's furthest away. He reaches them and attacks them. One thing that was very interesting about this one was making his miniature, because the art is only his head, doing his zombie face, and there's no body for us to take as reference. So this was a very interesting amalgamation of a lot of different iterations of him at the time. So it's the head from the Iron Maiden album, but then the body with the bottle, that is from the Running Free single that came out before the album. But to make it more dynamic, we have the raised hand, which is in the point of view of that single. So he's an amalgamation of three different Eddies from the Running Free single and the album. But it's weird because now, like, it just feels natural. Like this is the original Eddie. Like it's just because I have all these references. Yeah, I think it just comes together very nice to make a more dynamic thing, because we couldn't have him just standing there. And of course, we have on the ground. We have like the iconic trash can from the album. Anyway, the fans will see all the little details we added to the bases and all that.
Now I see people have all sorts of questions, practical questions. How can I get this? Does this ship worldwide? Where is the link? How can I buy it? Is it a Kickstarter? So shall we go there now?
Okay, so it is a pre-order. You can buy individual, but we have the bundle of the beast for a very meaningful price. And the thing about this price was very funny because so first of all, so the normal retail price for each of the packs is like 35 for packs 1 and 2 and 20 for pack 3. So that adds up to 35, 70, $90 for all of them. So we said, okay, $90, let's make a discount. Like, what can we do? Like 90, can we bring down to 80? I think we can, okay, we can bring it down to 70 and it's okay. And then we were discussing it and I don't know who it was that brought up, and genius. And he said, like, if we can go down to 70, why not 66.6? I said, oh, okay, I don't even care if the math adds up or not. We have to do 66.6 because you just have to. So that's the bundle of the beast. So it comes with all 3 packs and the exclusive original Eddie promo that won't be available anywhere else later for a nice discount. I hope you agree with me. Or you can also buy each pack separately on the pre-order as well, but you don't get as much of a discount and you don't get the promo pack as well.
Yeah, this is a pre-order, not a Kickstarter. It's open today. In fact, it's open right now. You can head over there and get yours. We obviously recommend the bundle of the beast, not only because it has this incredible discount, but it also is the pack that features the exclusive promo. But of course, you are free to get individual packs if you want. Now, this is a pack clearly made by fans, and we wanted to ensure that a fan gets a pack as well. So for today's contest, for a chance to win one of these bundles, we want to know your fondest memory of Iron Maiden. Not necessarily a concert, maybe sometime when you discovered a specific music or something else, and you should go.
Or the time you sculpted a life-size Eddie cookie jar head, you know.
Aranha, are you participating in this?
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a go.
Aranha, don't. Yes, so just head over to the trailer. Not this live stream, but the separate trailer. The trailer we posted separately, and tell us your fondest memory. We will have a grand time reading them, and we will pick a winner by Monday. So you have until the end of the weekend to leave your comments. We will pick a winner by Monday, and I'm sure we'll have a good time reading through your maiden memories. But
I really hope some people are half as excited as I am about this pack. Like honestly, like I'm so excited and proud of what we did here. The fact that the content of the pack like pushed us to do all this, to really try to add everything we could, make this as exciting, as varied, bring amazing sculpts, bring amazing gameplay. If you're a fan, we really try to infuse as much as possible from the Iron Maiden lore and the Eddie lore, the lyrics, everything into the gameplay, while still making sure it's fun and balanced and exciting to add to your games. And I'm really looking forward to seeing people adding to the game. I know people will do crazy things with this. Of course, like we couldn't include everything, and I'm sure anything we couldn't include, people will find a way to make it work.
Yeah.
Somehow, and please make this an amazing success. So maybe I can do the few edits I had to cut. I can make it a new pack in the future. I want to keep going. Come on.
Yeah, this is above and beyond. Honestly, this is incredible. It features so many games, and in fact, I don't think we highlighted this enough. It features components for a game that's not even out yet, which is Death May Die, Fear of the Unknown.
Fear of the Unknown, yeah.
Which is coming soon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it features like it allows us to add promos to games that like we weren't really like doing like Rising Sun, Ankh. Like it's not games that we usually have the chance to add stuff to, and this like it's little tidbits here and there that we can add some extra flavor, extra stuff, with a lot of passion to bring this to reality.
A question here: when is the delivery date?
I'm not sure yet. So it is next year for sure. We're still finalizing production is advanced. Like we're already like doing like all the design is done, all the graphics are done. We're just like doing like back of the box and rulebook stuff, and we're already getting the first plastics. So it should be early next year. But I don't know if we're going to be able to beat Chinese New Year. But I think it's around like being. I think we're estimating June, like first, second quarter of next year, it should arrive.
Oh, a very important question here. How tired is Jago's family of hearing about Eddie?
The funniest thing is how intimate my 5-year-old daughter is with Eddie, because she sees me working on it all the time. And she asks, like, what is this? And I said, it's Eddie. And what is that? That's also Eddie. And that's Eddie as well. And she's a bit confused, like how many bloody Eddies can there be? But she likes them. She's very used to zombies. We have lots of zombies around the house. It's a big part of my life, so it's a big part of hers as well. So she said, "I'm not afraid of zombies," and she really quite likes Eddie. Like I show up with this shirt and like she's fine. Oh, it's Eddie on the tree. Hi, Eddie. So yeah, it's all good.
So not tired at all.
I hope not. I hope not. My wife, I'm not so sure, but my kid is fine.
When does the pre-order close? Do we have a set date already?
I don't know yet. Like it should be open for at least a month, but I'm not sure because we need to see about even like the production time, when we need to close in order to start production and finalize numbers. So, don't wait. But you have, if you don't have the funds right now, you need to wait a bit. You can wait a little bit, but try to get in within this month.
Yeah, we will be posting about this regularly, and when we are about 1 week from the end, we will let you all know. So stay tuned for that as well. And I think that's the time we have for today. It's pretty late for you right now, right?
I'm not sleeping. I want to see what people talk about on online and whatever. As I said, I've been waiting for this night for a long time. I'm kind of sad it's over. Like revealing the trailer, I want to go watch it again. Like working with an Iron Maiden song and all these assets was like a dream for me. Like getting all the original PSDs for the covers and like peeling out the layers and singing high res. Like, oh my God, it's been so much fun to work on this.
Yeah, we can tell you are really excited.
So I hope you enjoyed, even those that are not Iron Maiden fans. I hope you've seen that like there's a lot of just straight up gameplay content for a lot of very beloved games. So even if you're not a fan of Eddie and Iron Maiden, take this as a chance to maybe get to know him better, listen to some good music. I personally recommend Power Slave, Peace of Mind. Those are the ones I would start on.
Well, I know what everyone will be listening to through the rest of the day.
Yeah. Well, so we have shown you all our wares, and my time has come.
Thank you all for joining us. And remember to check out the link we posted in the comments. We will post it down below as soon as this is done as well. And take part in the contest. We want to know your memories. We want to make sure one of these packs reaches a fan who will love them as Aranha loves them, if that's possible. And I guess I'll see you all really soon.
Up the irons. Justice for Eddie.
Bye.
Bye, guys.